Okay, let's do a load board search out of Joplin, Missouri. So I just dropped a load out of Joplin, so pretty good time to do a load board search. It's currently about noon, so we're just going to do a load board search for today because there's still going to be quite a few loads posted out of Joplin. As a reminder, most loads pop in the morning and afternoon, and then by the evening they're gone. So yeah, just a note there. So we're just going to do load board search today, 100-mile radius out of Joplin, Missouri. Joplin is a decent market right now, and yeah, so let's do this load board search. All right, cycling by the longest trip. Pick on the first one here, Greenfield, Missouri, going to Lebanon, Oregon. That's somewhat close to Portland-ish. So pays about $2 per mile per the 15-day market average. That's because the Pacific Northwest is dead. So after dropping this load, I would just straight up deadhead to Reno. Wouldn't even try to find something because it's not going to be worth it probably. So there's that one. If I could get it for $4,100, that might be reasonable. You do have to add about 400 miles onto the trip to get to Reno, but it is empty. So there's that one. I don't know. I'd probably look for closer to 4,300 for this one though, if I had to. But there's that one. All right. Another Oregon load. There's one going directly to Reno. All right, so this is interesting. I just dropped a load from the Reno area to Joplin, Missouri. It paid $2,800 to go basically from Reno to Joplin. And then you're looking at this one going from basically Fayetteville, which is pretty close to Joplin, basically the same route. It pays about $3,000, so slightly more to go from Joplin to Reno rather than the other way around, but they're pretty much equilibrium. It's going to pay about $1.70 per mile, give or take, for the load. This one's posted at 21, but you'd want to get closer to 3. So that's interesting. That would be a backhaul sort of load if I wanted to get back to Reno, which I don't, but there's that one. Looks like there's a couple of them. Yeah, Sparks, Reno, Sparks. Yeah, Sparks and Reno are the same place, so there's that. All right, Buena Park. So this is Los Angeles. Paying pretty much market rate. As a reminder, if you go to Los Angeles, you're going to have to take a really bad rate going in because you're going to get a really good rate going out. So Joplin to Los Angeles pays about $1.50 per mile. But if you go from Los Angeles to Joplin, it's going to pay closer to $2 a mile. So that's just how the dynamics work. You're going to a really good area. And I might actually be willing to take this for $2,200. I try to get them to 24 or something like that. But yeah, even though it pays crap to go there, it pays really good going out. And that's just sort of how it works. All right, that one. All right, so San Diego, slightly different market, slightly less good. Not quite as good as Los Angeles. It's still not bad. Pays $1.75 to go to San Diego. I suppose you could just deadhead up to San Diego after this load. That would be fine. And it might even be better to do that. But yeah, there's that one. I might be interested in it. I am somewhat trying to avoid the Sun Belt right now because it is hot. And when it's hot, it's bad on your engine. And you also have to idle the engine because it's hot. So that is something to note in the summer. You know, Phoenix and the Los Angeles area, you have to idle a lot more. So just be aware of that. But there's that one. All right, there's a Vegas run. Vegas and Reno, pretty close to equilibrium as far as market goes. Las Vegas and Reno will pay about the same, give or take, coming into and coming out of. So this one pays a little bit more than the Reno load did. I think going to Reno and only paid about $1.70. This one pays $1.80. So maybe Reno is a slightly better market than Vegas, is what that indicates. Maybe. So, but yeah, that's not bad. And I would take this. This would be fine. With Vegas, you can just simply deadhead down to Los Angeles. It's about 250 miles. So a little bit, but you get a much better rate out of Los Angeles. So if I took this load, I would immediately just deadhead to Los Angeles afterwards. So there's that one. All right, and then there's a Phoenix one. Oh, all right, this load already got booked, so skip that. There's another one. Let's see here. Nogales is not quite Phoenix. That's a border town. That's more like Tucson. Yeah. pays decently. I don't know if I take it though. I'm not too familiar with Nogales, to be honest. I very rarely go down there, so I would probably avoid this one, but there's what it pays anyway. TQL does work with new carriers, by the way, so if you're brand new, you will be able to work with them. Most of the brokers on this list, though, you cannot work with. Ryan Transportation, they're 3 months, and Global, I don't know what Global and Redwood and D&L, I don't know what they are, but they're probably require like 3 to 6 months if I had to guess. So, but let's check out this New Jersey one. All right, Joplin to New Jersey, pays about $2.28 per mile. The reason why it pays so much is because of tolls. You're going to pay about, I don't know, $200, $300 worth of tolls on this route, going through Pennsylvania, and also New Jersey is not the best market, so that's why it pays decently. I tend to avoid the East Coast, period. I just don't like running there. I'll run to Pennsylvania. I will run to New Jersey, but I don't like it. So it doesn't pay that good, and tolls and hills and just a lot of traffic. So I try to avoid it if I can. But I will take something like this, and it's not a mistake to take this. It's okay, especially for $3,200. This is probably a multi-stopper. That's why it's so much higher than the 15-day. It's definitely a multi-stopper. So, all right. Here's a Phoenix run. So Tolson is Phoenix. Phoenix pays about $1.75 per mile on average, about $2,000. Not bad. It's okay. It's never a mistake to take this load. You know, if you take a load like this going from one decent area to another, you're fine. And that's just what the market is paying. You notice that all of the 15-day market averages are around $1.70 to $1.80 per mile for a dry van. Yeah, and that's just the way it is. That's just what the market's paying right now. Summer is coming, so hopefully these rates start increasing. The English proficiency mandate is coming into effect. I haven't seen any real effect at the moment, to be honest. I don't know, though. It's still too early. It's only been in effect for about 2 weeks, so maybe things will get better, but so far, no real effect. But hopefully, in the coming months, things will get better. But I keep saying that, and so far, nothing's gotten better. Anyways, here's one going to Grand Junction, Colorado. So Grand Junction, Colorado isn't even like Denver. It's like kind of Salt Lake area. Really bad market. So Joplin to Grand Junction, $2.14 per mile. I don't think I would take that because, I don't know, you'd have to deadhead to Las Vegas or potentially Los Angeles, and I don't know. Oh, you also have to go through the Rockies. Like, there's no avoiding the Rockies here, so I don't think I'd take that. I would avoid that. Denver is maybe if it paid enough, right? But that one, I don't know. Kind of the worst of all worlds there, in my opinion. All right, let's check out Wisconsin. $1,200. Yeah, Tulsa to Green Bay pays about $1,200. Ironically, I did just book a load very similar to this. Mine was coming out of north of Tulsa, going to Rockford, Illinois, for $1,100. So I booked it for $1,100. I think the market rate was about $1,180 or something like that. So I booked it slightly lower than market rate, but that's fine. But yeah, just a note there. I did just book a load very similar to this for about the same rate. Mine paid a little bit better given the mileage. So there's that. But yeah, this is okay. Going to Wisconsin, I mean, it's decent-ish. Wisconsin is an okay market-ish. You might book it, but I don't know. I'd probably find something else. I got mine to Rockford, which is Chicago, which is a lot closer to a better market. So mine was a little better, I think. Not to brag, but Wisconsin, Colorado, Wisconsin. All right, let's check out the Denver run. Yeah, so this is, in my opinion, a lot better than that Grand Junction. It pays a lot better, and it's shorter, and you don't have to go through the Rockies. So I would definitely take this over that Grand Junction. I'll pull up the map here. So yeah, there's Denver right there. Obviously, you do not have to go through the Rockies there, and Grand Junction is over there, so you would have to go through the Rockies on the other load, which in my opinion makes this Denver load way better. So it does pay $3 per mile. The reason why it pays $3 per mile is because you're going to have to deadhead to probably Dallas to get a good rate, which sounds insane, but that's why it pays $3 a mile. Dallas is about 600 miles away. You'd be running empty, so you get great fuel mileage. All in all, it would pay about $1.60, $1.70 per mile, roughly speaking, for a 1,300-mile load. And that's just what the rates are. All right, there's an Atlanta one. Atlanta, fantastic market right now. That is weird. Why that pays so much? Huh. That's odd. Yeah. Atlanta is a really good market right now, so I find it odd that Joplin pays so much going to Atlanta. Maybe I should have went to Atlanta. Huh. I don't know if you're getting that, to be honest, guys. I'm hesitant to believe that. I don't think you're getting $1,400, $216 a mile to go to Atlanta right now. I question that deeply. Yeah, but anyways, there's that. But I seriously question you would get that kind of price, straight up. But, all right, here's Minneapolis, $14.50, $2.20 per mile. Minneapolis, not that great of a market. It's okay, but certainly not good. Yeah, you're gonna book something not so great on the way out. TQL, San Antonio. All right, let's check out San Antonio. I'm just trying to hit different regions here, so I'm not gonna like show you 3 different loads going to basically the same area. This one's going from Fayetteville, and Fayetteville is just a little ways away from Joplin. They're basically the same market, by the way. So that pays about $209 per mile, $1,300. That's fine. San Antonio is not as good a market as Dallas or Houston, so just be aware of that. So if you're looking like, oh, $2 to go to Texas, well, San Antonio, not nearly as good as Houston or Dallas. So just be aware. But still, you could take this. It's fine. Texas. Where is this Texas one? That one is San Antonio again. All right, let's check out the South Dakota. Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls. Pretty similar to Minneapolis, not that great. Gonna have to take a not great rate to get out of there, so that's why that pays decently well, $216 a mile. But there's that one. All right, let's see here. Where's this? There's a Houston one. So let's look at this Houston one. Yeah, so the Houston one still pays $2 per mile. I'm a little surprised by this, and I'm not confident you would actually get that, to be honest, guys. I think that seems high. Houston is a very good market. So the idea that going from Pryor, Oklahoma, which is not a great market, to Houston, Texas for $2 per mile, I question it. I seriously question it. I haven't booked one lately to Texas, so maybe I'm wrong here. But when I was trying to book loads, maybe last month or something like that, I don't know, I wouldn't get near that. I'd probably get like $1.60 per mile to go to Houston, and then go from Houston to Tulsa, I would get like $2.20 per mile or something along those lines, somewhere in that range. So I question that. I do question this. Now, this 15-day market average is not like the be-all, end-all. I have definitely booked loads for far more than it's posting, and I have definitely booked loads for far less than it was posting because it just didn't seem to be accurate. But it gives you a gauge. So it's a tool in light of having no other resource. So if you just don't know what the rates roughly would be, it's a very useful tool, even though it may be accurate at times. So at Joplin to Decatur, 243. That is a fairly short load, but I don't know. Maybe Joplin is just a really hot market going to the south. I don't know. I question all this though, because the south is a very hot market right now. Joplin is sort of the south as well, so I don't know. Maybe these loads are paying that much, maybe they're not, but I question it. I do question it. Nashville, all right, let's check out Nashville. That's $225 per mile. These are fairly short-ish miles runs, so 440 miles. Not a huge run, so noteworthy. That might have something to do with it, the shorter mileages, but I don't know. It was saying that Minneapolis also paid about $225 per mile. So the idea that you can go to Nashville, which is a very good market right now, for the same price, I don't know. I question it. I haven't tried to book one of these loads to the south lately. I booked a load to Chicago, so I don't know. But I am questioning some of these numbers right now. Shreveport, Kansas. That's a fairly short run. Check it out. So that's kind of close to Kansas City. Pays about $3 per mile. Yeah, you'd end up going to Kansas City after that. That's fine. That's a decent run. Never a mistake. You want to shoot for about $1,000 of revenue per day. In this market, though, it's probably going to be closer to 8 or 9 in reality. That's what I've been experiencing, so this one's fine. You can definitely do it. And you're going to Kansas City, which is an okay market. There's that. Dallas. I haven't checked out Dallas one. Let's check out Dallas. It just got booked. Never mind. Arkansas, Kansas, Edgerton, Pryor. Alright, here's some local-ish ones. So, Joplin to Kansas, again, 152 miles, similar to that other one. Very short, you know, you're not burning much fuel. So there's that one. It is a Friday also, which is noteworthy, so you'd want a longer load. The load I booked was about 700 miles plus about 50 miles of deadhead, so it's about 750 miles. So I'm getting loaded right now. I'll pick it up now, drive it a little ways down the road, finish it on Saturday, have it there by Saturday, and take Sunday off. And you know, that's the goal. So it is Friday, so you'd want to book a longer load right now. I'm just kind of showing you guys everything, but I'm just gonna scroll back up here. I'll open up some of these just to so you guys can see what some of the loads are offering, what's out there. Sakula, Iowa. I'll check out Iowa. I haven't done that one. Yeah, similar story, about $900 per dollars. Iowa, okay market, not great, not terrible either. So there's that. Nebraska, York, Nebraska. Let me guess, that's in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? Not really. It's close to Omaha, so that's an Omaha load. Still pays pretty well. Omaha, not fantastic market, so you're gonna get paid okay going out of there. Louisiana, pretty short-ish run. I'll look at that one as well. Just gonna cycle through a few more of them. Pays fantastically. Again, I'm questioning some of this though. I don't think you're getting that much. Straight up. I don't think you're getting that much. But Kansas, yeah, so these are all the same loads. So brokers will post like the same load multiple times. That might mean that they have the load multiple times, or it might mean that they are just posting it multiple times to get your attention and are kind of sleazy, I guess. But here's an Illinois run. Bloomington, fairly close to Chicago. I booked mine. My load was about 580 miles for 1,100 is what I got for it. So pretty similar to this. So there's that though. Illinois, Houston. Okay. Just gonna scroll up. Already looked at most of these. As far as regions go, again, there's 105 of them, so I can't click on all of them. I'll just sort of expose them all to you so you guys can see. But there's that. Again, most of these brokers require 3 to 6 months of active MC, some of them even a year. So you will not have access to all of these brokers immediately. And there you go. Okay, there's a load board search out of Joplin, Missouri. Currently headed to Chicago, so the next load board search I do will be out of Chicago. And yeah, so thanks for watching. I have a alternate channel called Windshield Thoughts. If you're interested in some of my commentary on different subjects, watch that as well. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.